Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are on this beautiful planet Earth. Today, we are doing another edition of Solved on a 2016 Volkswagen Jetta SE. So now that we got the wheel off, let's take a look at the brakes. Okay, what you're going to need are these tools right here. This is a brake piston compression tool, small plier or slip joint plier, little bit of pry bar. This is the 13 millimeter to take off the caliper bolts right there and there. And then I'm going to show you a very interesting trick here with the rotors. Additionally, I took this out already. This is a T27. Let's see if I can show it there. T27, there you go. That is just an assembly screw that they use at the factory to hold the rotor in place before they install the brakes. So here we go. Oh yeah, and you also need a 9/16 socket or wrench, which goes on the back here, and I'll show you how to do that later. Also, the lug nuts are actually StudLugs, and they are 17 millimeter by 5, and you also have these caps right here that usually the factory comes with a tool. You can either use the T40, I believe is what takes that off, but you don't spin it. You just merely place it in it and then pull. Much easier that way. So let's get into the brakes. Here we go. Okay, so to remove the bolts, again, you'll have a 13 millimeter or either a box ratcheting wrench like I have, or an open wrench. 13 millimeter, not half. They're similar, but they won't work on this car. And the thin pliers, as you see right here, I'm just spinning the slide bolt or slide that is part of the caliper, which we'll go over in a few moments. But I do need two hands here, so we're gonna have to pause it. Okay, so as you see here, I got the caliper bolts out. There is no room here for a ratchet, which is why I didn't use it. And now you have to negotiate that off because it's gonna be tight. This 2016 Volkswagen Jetta has 54,000 miles on it, so it's its first brake pad and rotor replacement. And this is the part I wanted you to see. Little trick. Normally, you would take off the caliper bracket bolts that hold the rotor in, but on Volkswagen Jetta this year, check this out. Hold on, we gotta negotiate it. Okay, I think I almost got it here. Okay, so now that the rotor is off its seated position around the hub, you do not need to remove the bracket. Watch this. Ooh. When can you say there ever was a vehicle that you could do that? So much easier. And there you go, out with the old, in with the new. You do the exact same thing. How cake is that? Now you just got to find the hole, which is right there. Nope, I lost the hole. Hang on. Oh, it's up there. Okay. Good idea to always put it at the 6 o'clock position anytime you're doing rotors. It's the way I always do it, except for that moment. Easier to find the hole you're looking for. Come on. Start it there and finish it there. That's it. Now let's put the pads on. Yeah, hang on. What I meant was that I'm going to show you how to compress the caliper piston right there using just this tool, and that tool. So the first thing is you always want to make sure that the disc is correct. There are these two nubs, and there are different size pistons that have these holes, but I happen to have the correct one. Ready? And try to do it with one hand so I could show you. Again, 12 and 6 o'clock position is where the nubs are. Okay. Alright, this is proving to be a little... Okay, so here, then you just spin this back. so that it locks against it. Then you take your 9/16 ratchet, you can use a long handle one if you like, and you're going to be doing righty-tighty. You're going to be turning it in instead of loosening it, which you may have to go back and forth a little bit. Let's see if I can do this all in one shot. Come on. Cooperate. All right. You know, all you got to do is yell at it a little. Who's going to hold my... Who's going to be the video camera here? Let's see. Can we prop this up somehow? All right, folks. I will try. I don't know if that is lined up or not. Looks pretty good. All right. So this part, the plier, you're going to be turning counterclockwise while you're turning this clockwise, so that this back plate here stays against the outboard part of the caliper, so that it can turn in. And you'll have to, like I said, this, so where it's in my left hand, the pliers that you're going counterclockwise, you're going to turn that so slowly. Oop, hit the ratchet the wrong way. Usually your right hand tightening will turn 2 or 3 times faster than your left hand. And you also want to watch the caliper piston boot so that it's not twisting, because if it twists, then you can tear it. I can't show you because it's not. This will take some time, folks. It's not so simple. Wish I had the tripod here today. I could show you what's happening here at the boot. Actually, let me do that now. Okay, so you have the boot all twisted now. So what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to negotiate that and unravel that very slowly by going backwards over here. Also, some people like to spray WD or something in there just to keep it lubed up, and that's what's happening, is that the boot has just been so heated over the past 7 years that it is stuck to the piston inside the caliper. So I'm going to pause this and straighten it out. Okay, so when you're done, that's what it should look like, completely compressed. See how many threads are out now? So if I undo it here, you can see that it's perfectly flush, and that's what you want. It's okay if these dimples inside the piston are not, again, 6 and 12. That's okay. That'll spin out later on. Next, we're going to take the slide pins, and we always re-grease them. Not a lot. Don't get all Michelangelo on it. Just a little grease goes a long way. And you put it back here. Oops, sorry. I like to put it in the middle towards the back over here, because as it heats up, it will all melt. If you put it towards the tip, like around here, then you're going to run out of room. The grease is going to be stuck inside here, and it's going to keep pushing it out. You don't want to do that. So let's get that cleaned up and done, and we'll put it back together. Okay, we got it all greased up. Everything's cleaned up and re-lubricated. You want to make sure these are as even as possible, so that way they go on the inside here, and then they'll spread out, which keeps the pressure down on them so they don't jump up and you won't have any noise. Now you got your caliper hold down bolts back in place. Let's tighten them down 13 millimeters. At this point, you normally go over everything, make sure everything is tight, but we only had this bolt here, you have the T27 down here. You don't have to worry about the caliper bolt bracket bolts because we never disconnected them. And now I always like to, before I put the wheels on, always pump up the brake pedal, make sure if there's any problems you address them before the wheels go on, so you don't have to take them off. It's nice and tight. And now that the wheel's back on, you want to give it a good spin. It's okay here, a little bit of noise. That's the new pads starting to marry against the new rotors. So for the first 40 to 50 miles, if you hear any kind of squeaks, smell any funky smells, it's perfectly normal. Now we're going to tighten down the lug nuts, and then we're going to put on the black caps. And don't make any mistake about it, although this has a torque, probably T40 center, these only just get pushed back on. Do not spin them back on, they will get destroyed, and then you'll just have the plain old aluminum lug nuts being shown there. Always the final touch is make sure that you are VW 6 and 12. Thanks for watching another edition of Solved. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Hopefully this video's helped you. If you know somebody that this video can help, please send it to them. Stay tuned for the next video of Solved. Thanks for watching.